and welcome to your new favorite podcast, Coffee Chronicles with a Z, with your girl Elle Stokes, Mimi J, and Megan S. And today we are flipping the script and making it spicy with our panel guests, Nim and Yo-Yo.
Hey y'all, I'm Natasha Nemmegget. Everyone calls me Nim. Lavonna and I have been friends for a little over 20 years. We attended Johnson & Wales together. We used to be roommates. I used to be married for a little over 12 years, have two daughters, 16 and 11. My current city is Charleston, South Carolina. Just turned 40 in August. Just trying to do what I can to get through this pandemic.
Hi, my name is Yolanda. Everyone calls me Yo-Yo. I've been married to my high school sweetheart for over 20 years. I have two beautiful kids and a granddaughter. I met Megan S. also in high school. We've been friends for over 20 years, and she later introduced me to the other two ladies. We've been friends for about 18 years. I'm here for all the juicy gossip and the great discussions with all the ladies of the Coffee Chronicles.
So grab your favorite coffee cup with your drink of choice and join us on this conversation journey. So Mimi J, what's going on in popular news today?
Well, ladies, this popular news is full of some shady mess. So if you have your shades, please put them on with me while we get into it.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yes, ladies. Now, I know all of you guys saw Housewives of Potomac, the reunion, where Miss Monique read the hell out of Miss Giselle. I mean, it had Giselle caught up with double chins and everything. Homegirl was stuck, y'all. Now, let me just briefly say what happened to those who did not watch it. Now, Miss Monique pulled out her binder of receipts, honey. Everybody had a tab with their name on it.
You want me to call out his phone number? I'm sure she knows what his phone number is.
What's your motivation behind that?
410 Jamal Bryant.
Is that his phone number?
Yeah, that's his phone number.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And she said, now, Giselle, seems like you got a side piece in your relationship. And she's like, I'm not believing anything. I'm not believing anything that comes out of Monique's binder. And she was like, well, let me read it off to you real quick. And she read it down to the point where Jamal had mentioned to the side piece that, oh no, this relationship is only for reality TV. And then Monique said, oh, do you like me to read the number off for you? And she said, yeah, that's his number. Mm-hmm.
I get she ain't calling Tyrone. She got the number.
Yes. She was stuck. Now, ladies, I do want to get into this, but I also want to mention that Mr. Jamal Bryant got on IG and had a rebuttal to all of this. Now, honey, he said Monique has the receipts, but he has the cash register. And not only did he say that, he said, well, Monique has my number, but I have her address. I'm like, oh, you is getting far too deep in women business. Now, the very important thing that Jamal said was, if you're going to show all the receipts, show them all. Show how I don't want this woman involved in my life, this and that. And he said, you can't have a mistress unless you are married. But I am not married. I am single. Now, Giselle and Jamal perpetrated like they were in a relationship on Potomac, and that is the whole tea. So
right.
Ladies, please tell me what you think about all of this shady mess.
The shade thick now. Wait.
Come on now.
Jesus.
For me, can I speak on it?
Yes,
Go ahead, yo.
For me, he just basically said he's not with Giselle and he's not with the side chick. He is a single man. He ain't claiming neither one of these chicks, is what I heard him say. Basically, that's what a single man say. Because if I'm in a relationship, it doesn't matter if I have a ring on it or not. We're in a relationship. I'm no longer single. I don't have to be married to not be single. So this man has let everyone know he is single, and his big black dick that Monique mentioned on the reunion is swanging everywhere. Here, there, everywhere.
Yes, all through the congregation, child.
She said he just confirmed, baby. He confirmed.
Yes, he is a mess. Oh my God, Monique called him a holy whore, y'all. Now you know how they say you're not supposed to talk about the pastor. Oh
Well,
Lord. Now, El Stokes, what do you think about this mess?
Lord Jesus, where's the holy water, Lord, and the Jesus candles? Because he's making sure he's blessing the whole church with a lot of love. But if I was her, I would feel a certain way, because I agree with Yo, because it's like, yo, you ain't got to put a ring on this or any of that, because if we supposed to be together or working it out, we got kids, we trying to work it out. We done got the restaurant for the babies and all this. Y'all acting like a kumbaya moment, and he's still just sowing his raw holy oats. This man causing me to not drink, but drink my cup of coffee.
Yes, and then what are your thoughts?
Maybe they have an open relationship. I mean, then they're not married. He is single, and they have an open relationship. I guess it's okay. Just depends. I don't know.
I don't think they're rolling like Michael and Ashley. I don't think they're rolling like that.
Oh, yes. Michael, but Ashley getting tired. Ashley said, the next time you do this is it. Like, she's like, no more that, no more. Ashley getting mad and had them children. Now her body getting, girl, she ain't down for that no more. Ashley tired.
That's what she said, but she like that check and the money he's giving her, so Ashley gonna be down for it for a while.
Well, now she got those 2 babies, so she got the check now, honey.
I apologize for the previous technical difficulties, I guess, but I honestly feel that Jamal was speaking facts. He said that him and Jamel or him and Giselle were not married, and that he was single. If they're not married, then technically you are single, right? And I have 2 questions for that. Are you a beneficiary? Are you able to file taxes together? Those would be things that identify or determine whether you are lawfully married or not, or not single, as you all have put it. But I respect you all's opinion, and but in my opinion, if they're not married, then they're single. To me, it's an agreement. So if that's the agreement you have, then yes, you have expectations, and I can respect that. When I wasn't married, and for the time that I'm not married, then we have expectations or an agreement. But if I'm not married, I'm single.
Yeah, but just because you're not married, you're in a committed relationship with someone, and it's like, I'll be damned if you're gonna have a side piece and I'm committed to your ass, regardless if we're married or not.
Unless we have an agreement. But
and that agreement is your ass can't cheat.
Agreement? But what are you gonna do? Divorce the agreement?
Yes, I'm out. Yes.
And you have, that's the difference between being married and being single. You can say you're out and throw up the deuces, and you have nothing to lose. You don't have to go through court proceedings and custody orders. You can leave, right? But when you are married, you can't do that. It's far more difficult, right?
Yeah,
it is a lot more red tape.
Well, Yo, you were gonna say something.
I was going to say, unless Sierra's relationships are open. Like, if you don't expect anything out the person until you have a ring on it, then that's a whole different conversation, because that's the relationship you're in. If you don't expect anyone because you guys are dating, you guys are, you guys aren't married, both of y'all can go out and do whatever you want to do, and that's your agreement, then that's a total different thing. But when I'm in any kind of relationship, I expect nobody else in the relationship, so I don't consider myself single ever. Like, if I'm in a relationship, I'm not single any longer.
Yeah, right. But you know what the Bible says? As soon as y'all have sex.
No, because it's a whole different story. But let me be clear. Never have I agreed to have an open relationship, okay? If I was not married, then I had an agreement and there were expectations in that relationship. But I was single. That's what I wrote down when I did my taxes. That's what would that's what the definition would be if that person was to die. Not going to be listed in the newspaper in the obituary as their spouse or their wife. I'm going to be a special friend. So that's the reality of it, right? And I'm not, I'm sorry?
Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, perfect example. They've been together for, 30, 40 years? Neither one of them have a ring on it, and neither one of them consider each other single. And if one of them was to die, one of them be listed as that other person's person. It might not be spouse or
the other person, not husband, not wife, not spouse, but person.
But it could be
but common law, if you've been together and you're living together for 5 years, you're common law married. So you
that does
are
not apply in every
entitled to
state, though. That doesn't apply in every state.
Partner, that's why so many LGBT gay people have fought to get married, in the sense of exactly what you're saying. You know, with the whole like, okay, yeah, if you died, there's no rights to me because we're not married or any of that. And there's been couples that have been together for 10 years and there's no rights to it. But the point is, they love each other, they're committed to one another, and they don't consider themselves single, you know? So, but I do get the definition of what single is. I'm with you on that. I understand that.
Well,
but
I just say this to tie it into the topic, basically. Like, because what Sierra is saying is what Jamal is going to tell Giselle.
Yeah.
Like, oh, baby.
The facts. Those are the facts. You don't need receipts for them. Those are facts.
That's true.
That's the semantics with the language that he tries to play.
Not the language, those are facts.
Games with that language. And if Giselle fall for that man, she's a fool.
Well, we're going to call her
I'm pretty sure she will. It's been many years, many moons, so, you know.
True. That's it.
Hey, that's when she knows what it is, right? If she didn't, she wouldn't have been so tight-lipped when Monique was reading her. But those are facts.
Tight.
You can't prove it with facts.
That's true. And you're right. They may have an arrangement.
You're right.
They might. So, Mimi, that popular segment right there just got us all kind of wound up there, you know? And I don't know if you want to add anything else to popular news, but it has just led me to what our topic is going to be. So relationships, y'all. We all have been in them, and relationships, you learn, you grow, you cry, and even sometimes you want to kill your significant other. However, during this pandemic, it has caused people to change, explore options, or you may feel if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Which leads me to our first question, Nim. Do you think it is acceptable to have friends of the opposite sex, and why? Because, honey, that can go 1 to 2 ways. How do you feel about that?
It depends. When I was married, my ex did not want me to have friends of the opposite sex. I couldn't even have pictures on the wall. Like, all my pictures came down. Once we separated, I found myself in a position to where like I had like no male friends that I could like reach out to for any type of like male perspective or anything. So I found myself like reaching out to a lot of my old friends. So I mean, it just all depends. Like I think you should be able to have friends of the opposite sex. It's just as long as you set boundaries and they respect those boundaries and you respect those boundaries. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Yo, how you feel about that?
I feel that basically it depends on who they are, if they're single or not. It's different if you're work related and this female has a husband and you guys are friends at work and they're like, oh, let's all go to dinner together. That's not so bad. But if it's a single female coming in that you met at work, I have a problem with that, because really what kind of friendship are you trying to create with this single woman that is nothing to us? You know what I mean? Like, what can she offer you? Right. In our friendship, in our relationship? I think that's a problem. Like, I'm not going out making single guy friends. You know, I mean, I've worked in a factory before and there's been lots of guys, but most of the guys, if I talk to them, they're married and they're in committed relationships. And we relate on that kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, maybe we could go to church together. Maybe we could go to dinner together with our spouses. And it's something different. Neither one of us is trying to get at each other. But when it's a single person involved and you're a married man, what are you seeking for this single woman? What is this single woman seeking to you? Because what she want? What I don't understand. And what do you want with her? I'm just confused.
But what if they're friends beforehand?
That's different. If they're friends beforehand, I'm friends with her obviously too. Because then we're all friends. So that's
right.
different.
We all friends.
Yeah,
That
we're
is
all
true.
friends. I don't need no
We all friends, right?
And
we're all
she's
friends.
all friends. But when you get these randoms trying to come in, nah. Most of these tricks want what you got, or your husband wants what she got. As far as I'm concerned,
right? There's a verse, a rap song that says that she slobs on the knob like corn on the cob. That's what folks be wanting to slob on the knob like corn. And don't nobody ever know what happened. Nobody ever knows what happens. Yes. So Megan asks, how do you feel? And then what if it's your guy friend or male friend, and then it's also someone of the same sex, but you know they're not attracted to the opposite sex. They are attracted to the same sex. Like all of that plays a factor. So Megan asks, how do you feel about that and having friends? And how close of a friend should you be? Like you are close friends. Should you tone it down a bit now that you're in a relationship?
I think it's totally healthy and acceptable to have friends of the opposite sex while you're married or in a relationship. And the reason I feel that it is because you have to trust the person that you're with, first and foremost. But secondly, I think it's important to, if that individual is close to you and means a lot to you, then kind of like Yo said, they're gonna know who that individual is. You're gonna introduce them. They're gonna know each other. As far as hanging out together alone, that may be become an issue for me, but you know, to have them as friends and talk on the phone, invite them over to parties or social events, I don't see anything wrong with that, especially considering, and Yo can relate to this, you know, having been in the military, I have a lot of friends, gay, bi, whatever, you know, straight, male, female. So I'm not, it would be hard for me to not continue to have that friendship with someone who has been through so many things with me at certain points in my life. So I think it's acceptable, but I think it's important to make your partner feel comfortable in that relationship as well. And if it is a relationship that you've been in and it was a personal relationship and it became sexual, then I think that's something that you and your partner need to discuss. And if they don't feel comfortable with it, then that may be something that you have to put on the shelf temporarily.
All right, Mimi J, you ever had to put it on the shelf temporarily or ever had any of that come up?
Well, actually, yes, I have that situation where my significant other has a female friend that he knew prior to us, and now we are all friends. And like Sierra was saying, like going off or whatever, she came to visit us and stay with us. She's super cool. Everything is all good. But she went to work with him. She spent the whole entire day with him, you know, doing stuff that I don't even do. Like, I don't go up to his job and spend the day. I don't got time. You know what I'm saying? But she did it. And to be honest, I was not bothered because I trust him so much. You know what I mean? So I do think it comes down to trust. And like Yo said, like, no new friends. But like, you know, if this is somebody that is a prior friend that you guys have a relationship. Now, if I found out that they had a sexual relationship, it would be all bad. Because I would feel deceived. But other than that, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Frozen. Okay. So she's gonna come back in. So how do you all feel about being in a or prior to a marriage or while you're in the dating phase maybe? What do you all think about how important is it to know what the financial responsibilities are of your partner and how well they manage or not well they manage money? What are your opinions on that?
That's a good question. I always feel like I should have researched that before I got married. You know, like I don't think you should marry for money, but you should be aware of how they handle money, what their goals are. Do they have like some type of savings plan, whether they're investing in stocks? Like, you know, in hindsight, I wish I had done those things in my 20s when I got married the first time. Because now, you know, I'm just like, if I had only done the research, maybe I wouldn't have. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's important, especially when you're trying to build with somebody and you want to spend the rest of your life with them. Like, you need to know, like, what their credit score looks like. Not saying that mine was the best, but you know what I mean? Like, those are things you have to think about, because if somebody's not good with managing money and that's what you're trying to do, like, it's just you're gonna be putting it in and it's gonna be going out the window.
Yes, I agree with you. I think it's important to know just especially how they manage the money, because you don't want anyone to just splurges on buy $200 sneakers every time the new sneakers come out. That stuff is not cool anymore. Okay, let's go ahead and stocks if you know what you're doing. That's it. Just saying. So important to know.
I wish my man probably wish he knew that about me. Because I'm horrible with money. I'm the accountant that is horrible with money. He's like, girl, I'm gonna have to hide the money from you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to know, because you have to discuss financial goals, right? And
yes,
you can't be on one end of the spectrum and the partner's on the other end, or you can, but you still have to come to a compromise, whether you're going to help that person or that person is going to help you with coming together and finding a happy medium. And some people aren't willing to do that. So you have to respect their wishes and either know that it's time to go because this individual is not willing to help me get to where I need to be, or continue on and allow that growth to happen together. But I think that's very important to know. You need to know if somebody has child support that they're paying. They have liens that they're paying. You need to know you should know all of that, because with some jobs and you get married, that can affect your ability to get that job. That can affect you as a partner as a married partner, in terms of filing taxes, because those financial responsibilities can become yours and your taxes can be withheld due to irresponsibilities, or maybe not irresponsibilities, but just debts that your spouse has. So I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Because this is like, oh, sorry.
Yes.
I have a question because I didn't know that was a fact, so I'm just gonna write that down. So, like, if you are married to someone and they have child support issues or liens or all of that, that can affect you getting a job?
Yes.
Yes, because certain jobs run credit check. You are one. You are as one. Even if that person was behind in tax payments before and you all together, for example, I do know with us, we're okay with money. I say my spouse, my husband is, I wouldn't say he better than me, but I would say that, you know, he is the breadwinner between the both of us. However, we both are very frugal individuals. However, when he with the business taxes or with anything else, if there is something that is late, they will garnish your paycheck. So I had something coming out of my paycheck and I said, what is this? Because I'm like, what? And so then you had to call the state, and then you got federal, then they tell you this and they tell you that. So of course, finances plays a very important part in relationships, marriages, because when they say you are one, you $10,000 or more, please let me know. Just like the commercial. We ain't trying to help. We trying to get this together. Also, I believe that you should save. Now, I still believe in separate checking accounts. I mean, everyone's house floats how it does. But if I know that you are responsible, I'm responsible, it's going to work out. Because every now and then I still like to buy me a little shirt or something to eat. And then I don't know if you went out and bought something, and that can call a whole avalanche, a whole, what's the word I'm looking for? Domino effect of issues. So I do believe in somewhat keeping some stuff separate, and some people have one pot all together for bills. But I do believe when you come together as one, it is very important to have your finances together, because you don't want to keep robbing Peter to pay Paul every month for the next 5 to 10 years. Something has to balance out. And if you got a problem, then the person that is responsible may needs to take hold of that ship for about 6 months to a year to get it selling perfectly until we can get it back together. And on that topic, now y'all know we done talked about where you're having other friends of the opposite sex and money. Now, when your money ain't right, your bedroom ain't right. And with the bedroom, we in a whole new thing with this pandemic, Jesus. So, are y'all having sex, or do y'all talk to people that's having sex with the mask on? I mean, is you strapping this up and that up? Or because a lot of people work in frontline services, and you want to protect your home. So do you feel that's important, or when you with your significant other, does love conquer all, or is you strapping up? What you doing?
I mean, if you're getting tested for COVID, we on quarantine, you ain't coming nowhere near me. Like, you in the other room, and it ain't that deep. 14 days, it's not that deep, in my opinion.
Yo, you're laughing.
My husband is definitely frontline worker, and love conquers all my relationship. We ain't strapping up nothing. All the juices is flowing up me. All of it, okay? I'm just saying, masking up, the juices is flowing.
Let me take a drink to that, yo. Let me take some notes as well.
Nim took a big gulp. Get it now.
She said all the juices is flowing. Okay, Nim.
I think, don't breathe on me. I don't like that direct breathing. So
breathe on me.
Don't breathe on me. I ain't care if you're frontline or not frontline. Lord bless his own, but don't breathe on me. That's too much right now. It's enough with the huff and puff and sweating. Don't breathe on me, COVID or not. I'm sorry.
Are you just doing doggy
style?
What? Are you just taking it from
down to the side? You kind of adjust. You're right. I feel like
you're right.
I cannot.
Megan, as you might inquire, what you doing the dominatrix stuff? You got a leather mask on with the zips and everything.
Look like we need to take some notes out of yours.
I'm enjoying the entertainment. That's what I'm doing.
Look, I own a sex swing, so we can always just swing into the dick. Swing into the dick.
It's great. Nip, anything you let everything flow, or are you more cautious now?
I mean, toys don't really need masks. I mean, ain't nothing going on over here. Just the toys.
I think that was a good question, though. LaVonda, that was a good question, because I know some people that are frontline workers, they are not even living in the same home as their spouses or significant others. So I think that was a very valid question. When I first heard, I'll be honest, I was like, my mind went in a different direction, but I think that's very valid. And that's a good question, because people that live in a home with possibly young children, or even individuals who have underlying conditions and could be affected, how is that going to affect them if they know they've been exposed to something? So I think that's valid. Good question. Or do you just not have intercourse at all? Do you not get intimate at all with your partner when you know they're first line worker?
Right.
Or do they get tested regularly? Yeah.
My husband does not. They don't require it unless you have symptoms of some sort. Then you get a test. But I mean, I know
So you
people
never know.
that test positive, and then they don't even make all the rest of them get a test. And that he's not forced to constantly wear a mask either. And I think that's nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, at
crazy.
the beginning of all this, they didn't provide him with sanitizer. I had to go online, and my cousin sent me sanitizer because everything was taken away. And I mean, like, he has to go to work every day. He's interactive with all the people all the time. And it's just like, what?
Is he taking his zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C?
Take the zinc
Mm-hmm.
and the elderberry.
Okay, I need to add that. Let me see, yo. What is that now?
Taking notes.
Yeah.
Taking notes.
You said the elderberry? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
You can do gummies, and they naturally have zinc in it as well. So anytime his throat starts itching, I'm like, you better take some of those gummies. And I'll be taking good.
I'm on the ginger shots. Anytime I feel a little something in my throat, I'm like taking the ginger shots down.
Yes.
Yes. So in this pandemic, you really got to take care of yourself. So for me, just like you guys, I take Bragg organic apple cider vinegar with the mother with a dash of cayenne pepper and lemon juice. I take it all the way back, like to slave days. I have my tea with lemon because I have to tell myself, my ancestors, even though I don't know what pandemic they've been faced with, but they were faced with a lot of things. And, when I think about slaves that were pregnant and everything, just overcoming everything. So I do that, take tea. Also, I still take prenatal vitamins, and I'm also on vitamin C gummies, and I love them, and my kids take them. And anytime they feeling a little something, honey, we're going to pray. We're going to drink water. We're going to take that lemon juice with tea, a little Bragg organic apple cider vinegar. And it has to say with the mother. The mother. That's the one that get it. It's going to burn it. You're going to, like Martin Lawrence, it's going to burn all that out. If you stay inside for 24 hours if you can. And you're gonna be good. And back in the day, a little bit of moonshine, just a teaspoon moonshine may help too, just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So so that's just some of the things. So in this pandemic, so much has been going on mentally, physically, financially. So in you guys' opinion, what is the most important aspect of a relationship for you, and how has it changed during this pandemic? Like, is your aspects of relationship, has it kind of toned down, changed? Do you have even higher expectations during the pandemic? Mimi J, what do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like my significant other still gets up and goes to work every single day. My life has changed because I'm now working from home. I mean, honestly, it's like if we can make it through this, we can make it through anything, because I'm like about to go crazy staying at home all the time. It's like I need to get out and go. So I just personally feel like if I can make it through this with my partner, we can make it through anything, and we are good. Obviously we have our ups and downs, but through it all, we still love each other and we still want to fight for our relationship. So it's been good for me.
And that's good. That's good, because it's not only about a relationship with a person, but also a relationship with yourself. You have to start with yourself. So how has also, regardless of significant other, partner, or relationship with you, God, a higher, whatever you want to call it, how do you feel it has come? Nim, how do you feel about that? How have you grown? What type of relationship has got stronger for you?
Definitely. Because during this pandemic, like like Mimi said, we can't go a lot of places. I'm one of those people, like, I'm not trapping myself in the house, but I'm not mixing up a lot because I actually still go to work every day. It can be mentally and physically exhausting. So, I do things like meditate, and, I try to, stay in contact with my friends, my girlfriends, my good girlfriends. And just, if if I was looking for someone, or if I were to meet someone, it would be somebody who listens, somebody that we can both compromise and talk to each other and listen, because we all have bad days. Every day is not going to be a good day. So somebody, if I'm having a bad day, like this week was a rough week for me, just being able to have that friend to talk to and have them listen, or even just give me a hug, simple,
Right.
the simple stuff in life.
Simple life. Megan S., tell me how you feeling.
So as far as the most important aspect of a relationship for me, in or outside of a pandemic, I would have to say it revolves around communication. I think communication is the key. I am a huge communicator in relationship, and that's one of the reasons, or one of the ways that I know what my position is in my relationship, any relationship that I'm in. So without communication, there's nothing, right? That's the foundation. That's what starts the whole relationship with somebody, and that's where you really kind of identify where you are, where you're or communicate where you are, where you're trying to go, and what your goals are. Without communication, is dead, in my opinion. So yeah, it's all about communication for me. And that's when, as a person in a relationship, whether you're single or you're in an agreement.
Hey.
Yes.
It's communication.
Single or in an agreement. Let me write that down. Single or in an agreement. Yes, I like that. Yo, how you feeling? Yo, tell me about your relationship. Tell me what's going on.
For my relationship, I think for me, the most important is respect. Respect for me is everything. If you respect me, you ain't going in those streets disrespecting me. If I respect you, I'm not doing that as well. And I'm not trying to lie to you. I think that comes with respect. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest. Respect kind of just, to me, crosses everything. Anyone you respect, you don't want them to feel a certain way because you respect them so much. You get what I'm saying? It's like your feelings. You don't want them to hurt. You don't want to lie to them because you respect them so much.
Yes.
Respect is very important to me. And as far as my emotional state in this pandemic, I find myself as very interesting. I'm a very outgoing person. And sometimes I find myself going into a depression that I didn't know I even ever had that existed. And what brought me out of it is pretty much keeping myself busy, working, communicating with my friends, communicating with my spouse. Just communication is very important, Sierra. I mean, that is really good communication. Yeah. But I still will trump it with respect.
Exactly. And I think all you ladies made such a great point. Relationships are just not only with a significant other, but you have to have a relationship with yourself. And one thing I think we all can agree on is that communication is very important. Communication, respect, listening, being honest with each other, just having an open book. I want to be open with you. I feel that once you are in a committed relationship, that is a commitment. It is a contract, honey. We signing on the dotted lines once we walk down that aisle, and it's all good. And also, even if you are dating, show me that you can commit. Because if you're dating and I can't commit to you, then there's I don't know what can happen, but some people can grow. Back to what we said on our previous show, growth is good and it takes time, but communicate that you are growing. So I know that we are going in the right direction. So it has been an awesome time with everyone on your favorite podcast, Coffee Chronicles with the Z. We really enjoyed having our guests on here, Nim and Yo, for making it even extra spicy with their favorite coffee cups, with their drink of choice. And you guys, let us know how you feel about relationships. It could be a relationship with God, a relationship with yourself, a relationship with your partner. Relationships are important. Even during this pandemic or not in this pandemic. But one thing we can say is this pandemic has really made everyone slow down and really think about what is it that I want in a relationship? How can I improve my relationship, not only with my significant other, but also with myself? So please stay safe, everyone. Keep having your favorite coffee cup nearby. Don't forget to subscribe to your favorite podcast on YouTube, Coffee Chronicles with the Z, and also like us on Facebook. So to all you guys, have a great, great week and keep on pushing, being positive, and communicating. Have a great night.
Night.
Bye. Good night.